another episode of Sisters
Talk.
Wow. They read my
mind.
Wow. So today, you guys submit the topics and you submit the questions also. So you basically create the entire episode.
We just talk
Thanks
about it.
for that, guys. So this one is making friends as an adult.
Woo!
Great topic. Can seem kind of hopeless, but we all have managed to find great friendships.
Truly.
And let me tell you, they didn't just fall into our laps.
No.
We had to put in effort for these,
Yeah.
which is great because we can tell you guys
How to do it.
we did it.
Oh, yeah.
So let's start with Francesca.
Hey, French.
Do you think?
I like
Do you
it.
think there's a difference between
I can see it for you.
making friends as an adult versus a teenager? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because as a teenager, you're thrown into all of these situations all the
School
time
activities,
with people your
sports,
age, even into college.
church stuff.
I would say after college versus up until and in college are very different things, but you're just thrown
Even
into
college is the
all
same.
these groups with people. You're surrounded with people your own age. It's so
All the time.
much more convenient. I would say not easier but
My
convenient.
teenage experience is not that, so it's kind of the same for me.
Okay, well I would say it's
wasn't
more
in
convenient.
college,
Oh yeah.
okay.
being
the
away in
average.
school, but yeah.
That's a good point. You're like, who am I going to be friends with? This record executive? No.
Yeah.
That's true. You didn't have any activity.
No.
So
We were your only
Ooh,
friends.
Sorry, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Oh,
But at least we were good friends.
we were.
sometimes.
And we were.
We tried.
So, yes, it's different, which I think is good to realize because then you're like,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with me. It's just different.
It's just
different
different.
landscape.
I remember being horrified
Oof.
when I realized I was an adult, aka like 25, and I realized, dang. No, actually, I realized this when I was like 20. I was like, this is nothing like high school age trying to make friends.
Harder.
But we have a lot of helpful things, so let's skip those. Emily, this is good. This is really practical. Best conversation starters when you want to talk to someone for the first time if you're trying to make new friends and not just small talk because you have to.
No offense, but I am the king of small talk. I'm really good at it. But my biggest tip,
are.
Tell us what you
I
actually do.
literally am.
Everyone tell us what you do. Okay.
So first, my biggest tip is, or the things I do is, number one, if I like spot someone at something and I'm like, oh, I want to talk to you, you seem cool. I look to see if there's something about like their outfit or like that I think is interesting or cool that I can comment on, because that starts a conversation. And then you're like, oh, I love your bag. Oh, thanks. Oh yeah, I'm Amy. What's your name? Oh, I'm this and that.
Compliments.
And then you can start talking about like the event you're at or something that you like from where you are, like something you may or may not have in common. So that is my biggest tactic, is either give them a compliment or just say something about where you are. Like if you're both at the food table, like, oh, these look so good. And then they're like, yeah. And then sometimes they're like, no, I don't want to talk. And you're like, okay.
You read their vibe.
Yeah. Those are my biggest go-tos.
What do you do?
I always do the compliment on the
It's
outfit.
so
That's
good.
what I do every time. But this is the thing, though. It's kind of like, okay, you can't go in trying to be like, I'm going to have a conversation with this person because maybe they're going to be weird. Maybe
Yeah,
there's not going to
maybe
be a
they don't wanna
connection,
talk.
right? So I just am like, oh, I like your shirt, whatever. And then I just see how it goes. Because, okay, maybe people know this, but I feel like you do know that there's just like classic questions that people ask that even though it's like, oh, we hate small talk, yes, I hate it too, it's not, okay, small talk is not bad if you're actually like, have like a good
Ooh.
connection with a person.
Ooh,
So
good
questions that are normal questions, just like, oh, so where are you from? Oh, so who do you know here? Like, how did you get
Can
here
lead
to this
to a
event? Whatever.
good conversation.
You can have a good conversation that starts from those dumb questions if you guys have like a friendship connection already. So don't don't scrap the small talk hate.
Good
Because
one.
it's only bad if you just have this weird, horrible conversation because you don't have any connection.
Yeah, and
Good
no
one.
offense, but small talk is the most appropriate thing for the moment. It's not
Yeah, that's a
appropriate
good point. That's a really
because
good
no
point.
offense, I have heard people talk about their divorces before they even know the person's name that they're talking to.
But also, I would say, like, don't
That's
be
what I
afraid to, you know, put in some personal information
Yeah.
in the small talk. Like, that's how it becomes small
Yeah,
talk.
like
to
things
not,
that you like to
don't-
do.
Don't just be like, yes, no, oh yeah, I'm from here. Like, give something to go.
Yeah.
Like
to.
start small, and which things are appropriate.
Yeah,
Elaborate.
like things you like to do, like movies or shows you like to watch, music you like to listen to. Anything like that is very
Comments
good.
about your opinion on where you're at or what's going
Yeah,
on.
anything like that is very good and appropriate for the level that you know the person, which is not at all.
I don't think I have much to add to that. I think the only thing that maybe you didn't say is I often will make a joke. I don't know.
Okay,
I guess it's always
jokes
accidental.
She has the
I make a
jokes.
lot of jokes, like especially like self-deprecating jokes randomly, like oh hi, blah, blah, like I make a joke and
I
then
do that too.
they'll laugh and then I'll be like ha ha, whatever, and then we'll talk about something.
Ha, ha,
So
ha.
sometimes I make a joke, but
Yeah.
same kind of thing.
Yeah,
Classic stuff.
classics.
Dion, best ways on how to get over social anxiety while making new friends.
Oof.
Okay, I have social anxiety. If I'm in a place, if I'm in a place where I have a lot of social anxiety, I'm probably not going to be making friends in that moment. So I would say get yourself to a different state. Like don't push
Yes.
yourself like, oh, I feel horrible right now. I'm having a panic attack or whatever it is going on for you with your symptoms of social anxiety. I need to push through and make friends right now. That
No,
is really asking a lot of yourself. So I would say actually, it's like if you have a broken ankle and you're like, how can you run? Can you tell me how to run a marathon with a broken ankle? No. Why don't you just go and heal and then come back when you feel better? So that's a kind of a tough one though, right? So I would say figure out like well, I feel like you should be in therapy for this, so probably like work on what your triggers are and what's going on with that and figure those things out and then get yourself to your best like place before. I mean, or your therapist might have you doing like exposure therapy, so you just figure that out in therapy. But get yourself to a good place before. And
Yeah.
then, so maybe you're saying feeling just a little shy. So not
Yeah.
like full on
Well,
social
yeah,
anxiety.
if
What would
you're
you do then?
having an actual like breakdown, like it's not time
Don't
to make
push
friends.
it.
But yeah, I definitely feel a lot of social anxiety of like I can't go to this event, I'm not going, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna
It's
die.
often
But it's
about,
like
what's it
okay.
about, would you say?
I don't know. It's just so scary.
For me, it's
like,
rejection.
It's so
Yeah.
awkward. I don't want to be in the awkward situation. I don't want. It's like for me, what it is the awkward conversation. I just can't handle how horrifying
why
that
do you
is.
think?
I don't know.
It's
I'm
hard.
just like I'm gonna go be really uncomfortable.
Oh, you're like,
possibly.
I don't
I'm
want to
just
feel
like,
super uncomfortable. It's like the pain.
Yes, it's just like cringe.
Like
Yeah.
for me, I know exactly what mine is. So mine would be, I'm really scared of rejection, and it goes back to my childhood, which I've gotten over mostly over this, which is amazing, but not fully. So it used to be more strong. So it'd be like, oh, I used to be homeschooled, and I always felt like I was so like different, and like there's something wrong with me, and people are gonna think I'm like a freak or something. So I'd be like, I don't want people to like think that there's something wrong with me. I don't want to be rejected, basically. Now at this point, I've been around enough years to realize there's nothing wrong with me because I was homeschooled. I'm just a human being. It's okay. Sometimes you don't get along with people, sometimes you do. But I didn't realize that before. So I'd be terrified of rejection.
Yeah, and when I get socially anxious, which I actually do a good amount, which I didn't realize, because it's very much more subconscious for me, and I just kind of like end up kind of like not even meant like not like just low key panicking in the back of my mind, but I'm not realizing it. I just have to be like, you know what? My goal here is just to put myself out there. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter if I have awkward conversations.
Yeah.
I just want to leave
Change the
here
goal.
knowing that I put myself out there and I will feel really good about myself.
Amen.
Yeah, it's like I don't have to go make a million friends. I don't have to make any friends. I don't have to have any conversation if I don't want to. If
Yeah.
there's an awkward moment, it's okay. It's not my fault. Like I think that's what it is. Is like, oh, I don't have an awkward conversation because it's my fault and I feel bad. Like, oh, I'm so weird, can't talk. So like, it's okay if it's awkward. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
We're like
Like-
sitting there saying, giving ourselves all these crazy rules, like you just said, can't have an awkward conversation, blah, blah. And then we're sitting there being like, oh, I was homeschooled, there's something wrong with me. So we're like, beat ourselves up, and then we give ourselves these crazy rules, and then we're like, why do I feel social anxiety? Why do I feel bad right now?
Oh, excuse me.
So work on those things, I would say. All right, last one. This is a little bit of a speed round for this last one. This one is from Catherine. How do you get past the friendly stage to become actual friends? When you're like talking, how do you cross into that place where it's like, okay, we're friends now? Any tips or tricks? Give us your tips, tricks down the line. Mine would be, well, it's not something you necessarily control. I would say
Yeah,
you
you
open up
can't.
slowly and appropriately, and if you're a good match, then things will naturally progress, and if you're not, you can't force it. So just go with the flow, open up slowly and appropriately, and see where things lead. Be authentic, be yourself, be kind, try to connect, and that's the best you can do. What's your
When it's someone that I know from like social settings but I've never hung out with, I just ask them to hang out and then one-on-one and then just see what happens. Maybe ask them again. Like I try to get like ask them a few times and just see what happens, and it doesn't like I'm not trying to like you can't force someone to be your friend, so don't do that or try to do that, but just kind of be like, oh, let's explore this like friendship by hanging out. That's what I do.
Yeah, I think like I just put in the effort. I let them know like, hey, like I'm trying to be friends. Not that I say that, but just like,
With your
I'm
actions.
asking you to hang out. Like, oh, I want to hang out, and I talk to them and try to ask them things a little more deeper. Like, oh, so like, what's your family like? Oh yeah, like what were you like in high school? Like more
What's your
like
childhood
real,
trauma?
Yeah.
not that.
Don't
More
ask
like
that.
real things and like opening up a little bit. And it's like, okay, if you're putting in effort, you're showing like, hey, I want to be friends. You're opening up, making effort to get to know them. If you're a good friend match, like you'll become close
friends.
But you just have to sometimes put in that effort a little bit more.
And if it's clear that it's not working, please just stop putting in effort. Just let it go. That's all I have to say.
yeah.
Personal experience.
Yes.
I mean, I can relate to that too. You live, you learn.
You do.
We're all on our healing journeys.
Peace and love to everyone on their healing
All right,
journeys.
thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully that helped you. This is a rough thing to realize in adult life, but it does get better if you work on yourself and a
It
bunch
does.
of stuff. It does. Get a
You
lot
can make friends.
It is possible, and it's never too late. You never are past the point of no return, so that's good. If you guys want to be a part of one of the next episodes, make sure you watch for our posts so you can submit your topics and your questions. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Sisters Talk. Bye!
Bye.